with another little NaNoWriMo talk for Sunday. So I'm going to be doing these on Sundays during NaNoWriMo. So last week we talked um, about how I said that I like NaNoWriMo because it kind of forces you to start before you're ready. It forces you to start to get going and stop procrastinating and just start working on something. And I kind of think that's the best way to just get into a book is just start working on it and um, see where it goes. This week I want to talk about another reason I like NaNoWriMo, and that is because a lot of times when I write, I get bogged down with how the writing feels. Like, did it feel like I did a good job today? Did the writing come easily, or was it difficult? Was it uh, do I feel like the writing is good today, or did I feel like it was bad today? And I get very impacted by the way it felt. Do I think I did a good job or did a bad job? And it's kind of silly because a lot of days when I come back and look at my writing from a previous day, I can't really tell like the days where it felt like the writing was good versus when it didn't feel like that. So, I've learned that I don't have very much perspective on whether the writing is good while I'm doing it or not. I kind of just have to give it a couple days and then come back to it and see. So, all that being said, the what I wanted to say is that, and the reason I called this video "More Than a Feeling" is that that's one thing I like about NaNoWriMo is that it forces you to work daily, whether it feels like the writing is good or feels like it's bad, does not matter. It's just you got to do it every day if you want to meet the goal. So that's one of my favorite things about NaNoWriMo. I think I might have told the story before, but I don't know. I'm sure if I told it on this channel. So I will tell it now of how I wrote my book Regulation 19, which I'd written a couple books before that were unpublished, but it had been a couple years, and I wanted to really write. I had this idea for this book, and I thought it would be great. But the last few books I'd tried to write, I'd burned out around 20,000 words, 30,000 words, somewhere in there. So what I decided to do for this one, I thought it was a really good idea for a book. So what I decided to do was I told myself, I gave myself 90 days to finish the book, and I wanted it to be 90,000 words, so that was only 1,000 words a day. And I told myself that I have 90 days. It was I had through October 31st to finish this book, whatever year that was, a few years ago. And I said that if I was not done by October 31st, I had to delete the entire manuscript that I'd written so far and never use that idea again. So I gave myself a little bit of an ultimatum, and that worked really well. It forced me to the reason it worked is because it forced me to get out of that thing about like, do I feel like I'm doing a good job with the book or not, and forced me to just get my butt in the chair and keep writing. So that very much worked for me on that book, and I think NaNoWriMo is kind of similar. Throughout that writing process, my little motto to myself was, it doesn't have to be good, it just has to be done. I kept saying that to myself over and over again. It doesn't have to be good, it just has to be done. And of course, I do want it to be good too, but that's not the main focus for me when I'm doing my first draft, is making it like as beautiful and everything as possible. I don't want to make it perfect right away. I want to just get it out there, and then we can mold the clay later in future drafts and everything like that. So I hope your first week of NaNoWriMo was going good. Mine was pretty good. I'm a tiny bit behind. There was one day that I actually missed due to another writing project. I really toyed with, do I count, because technically I did. I'm a little bit ahead of schedule if I counted that other writing project toward this, but I decided no, I'll keep it pure. So I didn't count that towards this. So I'm a little bit behind, but it's very catch upable. I'm not too worried about it. Um, I've found. I hope you're feeling good and liking that first week. That's another thing I've learned throughout the course of a few books is that I always kind of follow the same like a little bit of emotional path throughout a book where the first like 25,000 words of the book, I'm pretty excited about it. It feels new. It feels like just I'm discovering this great new world with all these possibilities. And then generally the 25 to 30,000 word range, when I start getting in there, I start getting a little sick of it, like, and start getting a little depressed about, man, what if this isn't any good? Um, and then when I reach about 45,000 words, which is about the halfway point, if most of my novels tend to be around 90,000 words, then I start getting excited about it again, and like, ooh, I'm over the hump now. and then I go through one more dip, like maybe around 60,000 words or so, and then once I reach like 70, then it's smooth sailing from there. But the key is, like, I just know you have to know that about yourself, and just know that you're gonna realize there's nothing specific to the story or the writing that's causing that to happen. For me, it's just the that's just the way it works when I'm going writing a story of that length. There's going to be peaks and valleys to how excited I am about the project, and so I just have to know that, and because of that, basically acknowledge those feelings and then set them aside and get to work. So the reason I say all that is that the first week of NaNoWriMo for me, and I think for a lot of people, is very fun, very exciting. It all feels like fresh and new. Maybe you even went over your word goals on some days, and you're like, "This is going to be no problem. I'm going to breeze through the rest of this." So I just want you to, if you're doing NaNoWriMo, and if you're like me, maybe you're not like me, but if you are like me, prepare yourself a little bit that there will be some of those valleys where you're less excited, where it feels less doable, and it just for me at least, those peaks and valleys are part of the process, and I just have to be aware of them and then disregard them, basically. So anyway, that's week one. Week two, I think I'll still feel pretty good in week two, and I hope your projects are going well. Mine's coming along great, and I'm discovering new fun things about the story and the story world all the time. It's a fantasy novel, so there's a lot of interesting world stuff that I'm kind of discovering as I go, and it's a fun world full of a lot of double crosses and people with secrets and things like that. So having a lot of fun with it. All right, I'm going to wrap it up there. If you have any questions or things that you'd like me to talk about next Sunday in my stream, please comment them on the video here. And that'll do it for me. Good luck with your NaNoWriMo. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you next time. Bye.